timestamp. It is February 24th, 2026. It's about a little after 6 p.m. Got up with a little bit earlier, like a lot earlier. My girl came over. She had done her stress test at the VA. Refilling my coffee. And we had some shopping to do, groceries, that kind of thing. We just enjoyed sitting and talking to each other for a while. It's nice. She just got home a little while ago. She texted me to let me know that she'd made it okay. Got dogs outside running around and being crazy. Alex just about came out and realized what was going on. I went, I don't want to be on camera. Okay, I thought I heard Scrappy's collar. Perhaps I did not. I let Pix know that our friend had passed, which that was a tough part of the conversation. She hadn't been on Facebook. Her Facebook is like glitching out and being weird. So she hadn't been on in a few days. So that was a tough part of the conversation. Pix was closer to it than I was. I talked to Kenzie every now and then. Back in the day, we weren't like thick as thieves because we were part of a writing group during the frontier days of the interwebs, and had a round robin writing group that we were doing. I think like 6 of us, and you're collaborating on a goofy storyline and continuing it on. Did it for years, so got to know her pretty well. Good, genuine, good person. Ben's sense of humor. New horror movies. Horror and sci-fi was like a walking database. Wonderful Ben sense of humor. So much so that she passed on Friday the 13th. Which, if you knew her, you'd understand why I'm smirking while crying. Because that's she got a last punchline in, Pix was pretty crushed. We were talking about she's having, a stress test and all that. And I kept picturing Crazy American Girlfriend from 16 Candles on the exercise bike and stuff. And I told her that, and she's like, no, it wasn't kind of like that, it was different. But in my Gen X head, that's what I'm picturing. Mr. Duck, Oh, now I hear him. And so she's talking to the therapist, not because my girl needs therapy, although I think we all do. Come on, Scrap. Little guy's gonna bark at something out there for a minute. And she mentioned, she's talking to the therapist, and she mentions all the different stressor things that are going on. There's a chart out there that has, this life event is worth this many points, I'm going to put them on the ground because those are a couple smaller pieces and I don't want to lose my thumb. So that's my foot. My foot is not a plate. I dropped one of the jerky pieces onto my foot and was like, no, we're not doing that. Mr. Jinx said come over for a cookie. And Kaiser's coming over. You got yours. Go. No, we're on cat cookies now. Yeah. Jinx. So there's a point to what I'm saying here. Now he's at the door. So she's going over the list of stressors with the therapist. You know, I've got this going on, You know, my husband and I are now separated. We're not separated, but geographically. We had a family member die. I've got a friend who's dying. And she's retelling this to me. And I know what she's talking about. And in that moment I realized that she's a half step behind. Scrappy, you already got yours? Go. There you go. And I gently stopped her and said, you don't know, do you? You haven't been on Facebook. She was like, yeah. And she just started to cry, and then she got me crying. But yeah, we've got enough of the different stress factors or whatever they call it. It's like we've got several, like 4 or 5 or 6 of the top 10 ones on the list, and then a whole bunch of the little ones too. It's insane. Or is enough to make one insane. So we had a moment. We're not 20 anymore. Man, we've got some friends that are doing fine. And we've got other friends in our age group, whatnot, that aren't, and they're not with us anymore, or they're getting ready to take their final bow, kind of thing. It's weird when you look around the party and you realize that a lot of the people have already gone home, So, dropped off. I had a couple sales. It was a Monster High pet. It's a orange tiger, Sweet Fangs. I forget whose it is. I think it might be Claudine's, but I don't know that. I forget. That's a little orange tiger. Sweet Fangs is the name, but sold that, and I sold a small Scooby-Doo lot, action figure lot. So dropped those off. Went to a Dollar Tree, went to Aldi. acting a fool with my girl. Sorry, Tanner just came over here and was looking at me real cute. He's growing on me. And my friend LT, who is a Chihuahua and or small dog enthusiast. As I mentioned, I didn't know what Tanner was. I'm like, he's a Chihuahua, but I don't think he's a full Chihuahua. Talked to her yesterday. I hadn't talked to her in a few weeks. And she was like, yeah, a couple weeks. She's like, take a picture, send it to me. I took a picture, and she's like, oh, I think he's part Pomeranian. Which I looked up some pictures of Pomeranian Chihuahua mixes, and yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right, actually. I guess it's referred to as a Pomchi. Sounds fun. It's festive. Pomchi. I don't know. I'm new at this. I normally don't do small dogs. Leading up into all this craziness, though, I kept having dreams that I found a couple of Jack Russell puppies, or that a couple of Jack Russell puppies found me. So I'm open to the idea, if down the road some kind of Jack mix comes my way, because I don't know. You know how it is when you have a bunch of dreams. Maybe you don't. You have a bunch of dreams with the same subject matter, and you start to kind of wonder if, are you trying to tell me something? Had that going on. And then Acorn came along. So I don't really have vacancies for dogs at the moment. Between him and Sammy, we're going to be, where Tanner is now pretty much our responsibility, our dog, Because, yeah, I'm going to make sure my dad's dog's taken care of. I couldn't save the other one. And I still haven't told my dad that Trip is dead. I can't. And I can't tell him that he's probably the reason, But, pro tip, if your dog has a flea situation, don't buy Raid and Hot Shot, rub it on your hands, and then rub it on the coat of the dog, and use that as pest control for your critter. It says on the can, do not apply to skin or fur, not for topical use. Some kind of verbiage like that. It can cause cancer, skin lesions, cysts, and it did. So, just don't do it. There's other stuff out there that works. Don't do that. Oh, yeah. We frequently have like a matching shirt thing. We're complete doofuses where that's concerned. And I got her the same color shirt, but it's the actual establishment name for Garrick's place in the promenade. Just a simple tailor, that guy. She loves him character-wise, and he's pretty cool. Admittedly, I can't that's stupid. That's a really cool character. So I got her a shirt that was, an advertising shirt for his shop. So it kind of, show adjacent. Again, we were just out being stupid. Picked up some stuff because I need to start getting the family on a schedule more focused, and try and help find the joy where we can. So I picked up some stuff at the Dollar Tree to help do an Easter tree, because we've got some of the generic little trees, whatnot, and I needed some deco stuff. I had an idea. Being stared at by a cat. And Dollar Tree is great for picking up like crafting deco and stuff like that. So when I picked up, I may already have a color that'll work, but I picked this up too. I've used some of the different acrylics that the tree gets in, and I worked there for a while, so I know, there are some good products and some products that don't buy that. Um, it's turquoise, but for doing Rebecca Steam's Jeep, I wanted a turquoise and a dark red to go along with the bronze brass color, whatnot. And again, I may already have a paint over there in the couple of sets that I got, but a giant thing for the buck and change, just as another option in case I don't like the way it blends with the other colors and whatnot. I like to not be forced into, this is the blue that you have. So, and I probably do have a variation or two over there that may work better, but then again, that one might be better. I don't know. I'll look at it with the palette. Exactly. Yeah, I picked up just some basic stuff, some more glue sticks, because I'm going to need those for some of the things I'm working on. And I did get in one of my packages. I'm going to open it, just not the second. So I got in that, which I'd been looking at getting. I'd mentioned before, I've actually got one right here. My C-3PO concept figure. And that was the design. It's based on the actual sketches by Ralph McQuarrie, who was a concept artist. He did a lot of the matte paintings that they used. Like some of the backgrounds in like Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. They were actually paintings done by Ralph McQuarrie that they kind of green screen. Look it up online, it's pretty cool. So he was a concept artist that did a lot of stuff for early Star Wars. And I'm a huge Hoth fan. The Empire Strikes Back Hoth sequence, love it. And as an honorarium, they made a General McQuarrie figure, which it's hard to tell because it's yellowed, but you can kind of see in the picture. They've got him in like a Rebel Alliance officer's uniform, the Hoth kind of regalia. And I wanted one. And he comes with a pew-pew and a helmet, winter wear kind of thing. And the coin. A lot of the 30th anniversary ones came with the coin. But I was having a hard time because I was willing to get him loose. And I kept finding him with one accessory or the other, but not both. Again, the coin I didn't really care. It's a nice bonus. And people wanted $20 for, just the figure with the hood, but no pew-pew, or the pew-pew and no hood. You get the gist. And I found somebody that had this one. I think I paid $15 for it. And there were others that had this figure for $30 and $40. The big difference here is from a collector standpoint, because I'm trying to make sure that if you don't understand, you do understand. You can learn things from me. Normally this is incredibly clear plastic, so the fact that it's got a yellow, orange, amber thing going on, that is from UV light or heat or both. It wasn't necessarily stored correctly, which you get that a lot in Florida because it's so humid. So from a collectability standpoint, this is the kind of thing that it will really, really make collectors angry, because it's still mint in box, but the box is damaged at that point. So as a collector or a dealer, this is harder to sell as a mint in box item, because even though it is mint in box, the yellowing, it really makes the price degrade. It really brings the price down. You know, it's like damaged. So if it's something that I'm going to play with, and I'm going to play with General McCory, that you got to be careful where you say that. I don't care because he's not staying in that. But a lot of times I picked up stuff that I wanted to be able to play with in a mint box with a yellowed clamshell. It's usually what they call it, or a blister. Because you're hardcore collectors that want to get it graded or want to be able to, you know, frame it. Because there are like action figure frames and stuff. They want to display it, or they just want mint in mint box. They will never buy this. They will never buy this. They will look at that and go, yeah, no. That's, I'll wait. I'll find one that actually has a clear blister or clamshell. But again, if you want to play with the figure and you're planning on taking it out, who cares? It's not staying in that. And it's guaranteed to have all the stuff. It's what I like to call a guilt-free open as a collector. That's a guilt-free open right there. You're never going to open one of those and go, oh, man, this is worth $50 and I'm going to open it and play with it. You know what I mean? You can open it and play with it because this is worth $15. Because there's 1,000 more of these out there that have a clear plastic, a clear blister. They're the ones that are worth $50. That one is not. So I'm happy about that. Because I know he's going to have all of his gear. Because it's still sealed. I get the coin. Okay, that's cool. I got a few of those floating around. That's fine. But I get a General McCory with his stuff. And very rarely is there damage to the figure inside on something like this. If it's been in direct sunlight, and that's why, because this can actually turn like a really bright pumpkin orange. If it is that color, take a close look, because it may have been left like in direct sunlight, and the figure itself may also have a color change thing going on. Especially with the flesh tones, they can get blotchy or like bleached out or whatnot. But this was probably just in an attic or something. He looks fine, feature-wise. The face is a good place to see that kind of stuff. And sometimes you'll see it on figures where, because sometimes they make an action figure, you see it on Stormtroopers a lot, where the torso of the figure is actually made of a slightly different material than the arms. So the torso will be like almost a canary yellow, and the arms will be almost like a vanilla, like a slightly off-white. And you can tell that it's had some UV, you know, some kind of heat exposure, because the chest part, the plastic for some reason yellows quicker. So it almost looks mismatched. It's weird, but I've got a few Stormtroopers like that, and I've seen them for years like that. Again, Florida, humid. I bought some at flea markets in the past that were like that, and you know, these were probably played with in the sandbox, and the sun beat on it, and yellow, off-white. It's a thing. Tiny just came blazing through and was like, oh. Happens. Oh, I'm not sure what I'm drinking either, but it's pretty good. But I do know what I'm drinking out of. So, yeah. And again, same design on the other side. So, got in my Yosemite Sam Six Flags. And I saw a Porky Pig one on eBay, but I'm not going to pay $30. Because they wanted like 15 plus 15 shipping. No, I'm not doing that. No, don't. I'm sticking to my 15 limit, which I know is very cheap, but I don't actually need them. I just like them, you know? But yeah, so I got my Yosemite Sam on a roller coaster. mug. And as I was getting my coffee ready, it made me smile because I saw it and went, yeah, that, yeah. But he looks like he's having a good time, doesn't he? I mean, that's not fear, that's not even anger, which for Sam, that's doing pretty good. That is like delight. Look at that. A big old smile. Yeah, no, that coffee's good. I don't know what Alex did, but that's good. That's good. Yeah, there was one the other day that was just, never do that again, please. And he showed me too. He was like, I did one scoop of this, one scoop of that one. It was like flavors that were all over the place. He was like, I thought it might blend well. I'm like, like with like. You just tried to put carrots with ice cream. Don't do that. Mix in a pork chop and you're good to go, you know. But yeah, I've done a couple things on my list, but not a whole lot. Most of the day was wasted. I never consider a day spent with my girl wasted. Did I get much done on my list? I did not. Am I still better for what happened today? Yeah. I did do that. Okay, I already crossed that off. Yeah, I didn't do a lot on my list today. I was able to cross off like 2 things, but most of the day was picks, which, here's the thing, if you don't know how much time you got left, and I'm not saying that either one of us is like, I mean, I do technically have a terminal lung disease, which is a weird thing to say out loud. Oi! It's a weird thing to be able to acknowledge, you know, that I recognize and all. A terminal lung disease. But it's a lung disease that I can probably slow down to the point where, you know, something else takes me out. But with having lost family somewhat recently, having lost friends recently, it brings that whole mortality thing up in your head, you know, which is another reason why I'm going to drink good coffee out of a cool, fun mug that makes me smile. It's not even complicated. I'm not going to drink mud out of a mug that isn't anything special. I'm going to enjoy what I've got going on. To the best of my ability, I'm going to find the joy. You hear people say that all the time. At least I do. And spending a day with my best friend, yeah, it's not wasted. Did I get anything on my to-do list done? 1.5. But I spent the day with my girl. So we had fun together, and we occasionally saw people look at us strangely because we would do something goofy for the other, performative as it were, and they would look at us and, you know, keep their children away from us, and it was just, you know, it was okay. It was a good day. But we enjoy each other's company. I married my best friend. And if you haven't done that, I highly recommend it. You know, unless you're, you know, not attracted to them. I was attracted to this best friend, just to be clear. The guy that you play basketball with after work that you call your best friend, but you're not attracted to, don't marry them. That makes everything really awkward. and it winds up, like the end of American Beauty or something, and people get hurt. Don't do that. There's a line, I hope I'm making sense here. I know I've got a lot of different voices in my head, all trying to get the microphone, but I hope I'm making sense. So, I'm going to sign off here before both of my kids that are here, the heads explode. I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and I may grab a nap and get up and actually start working on my list. Yeah, that was a good day. Health check, a little bit of tightness in the chest. That's kind of a normal day. And again, I don't know if that's my terminal lung disease or if it's anxiety, because I have over 300 points on the stress chart. Something like that. Still cleared to be in public, so that's good. Excuse me. So, I have a Patrick Troughton second Doctor Who action figure on my desk right now, and I got in some doll furniture lots and stuff the other day, stuff that I can use, stuff that Pix can use, and I got another one of those. Got like 4 of them now. Lost Kitty milk cartons. So, and I let Mr. Troughton hold it. If you can make out the writing. This is missing. Have you seen Meow? It's got a cartoon image of a kitty on it. So, my girl picked this guy up because he's just sitting over here, by my jar, and was like, "What is he holding?" And she read it and was just like, "I'm gonna give you the reaction." Made me giggle and also sad. She had a moment of, "Why'd you let me look at that?" You're welcome. I don't know. We are very 12. Very 12. I'm okay with that too. So. You know what I'm going to say. If you've been with me, feel free to like the video. Feel free to comment. We can talk. We can talk. We can tack. Depending on if you're from New York or Boston. Pam, fun size. Yeah. Hug your parents, hug your kids, and make it a great day.